Hello, this is John from caveofprogramming.com, and in this tutorial we're going to look at creating your own custom tags. So you can actually create custom tags along the lines of absolutely anything you've seen in the standard tags. We've seen SQL tags and tags that kind of control the kind of flow in your application, like if tags and loop tags. And we've seen all kinds of tags that output stuff, and all of this you can create your own custom varieties of if you want to. Now I'm struggling a little to find a really good example of a useful place to have a tag in this application, and there's nothing that I can really see that's in here that wouldn't be in a way better done just with fragments of JSP. But just to demonstrate the kind of idea here, and I'll leave you to use your creativity to think of a really good use for it. I noticed that we've, in a couple of places, we've output this image using a width and a image name, and the image name is formed from the stem of the image, the file name, plus the extension. So I thought it could be interesting just to create a custom tag that outputs an image when it's given as attributes the width, image extension and image name, file name. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go into WebInf and I'm going to create a file in here which won't therefore be publicly accessible, but my web application will be able to access it. So I'm going to right click the WebInf folder and go to New, Other, and as long as you're using a fairly recent version of Eclipse, you'll get this option to create a JSP tag file. So I'll click Next here, and I'm going to call this image, and click Next, and that's all fine. And now in this file you can put whatever you like, and in fact let's already see how you can use this. So before I fill it in, so I can put anything I like in here, HTML, I could put scriptlets, although it's better not to, and I could put JSTL tags, of course. And for the moment, let's just put a hello there from a custom tag. And now I'll go into a page where I want to use it. Let's try image.jsp. And I need a directive to import that tag. So I'm going to here create a taglib directive with this @ sign, like all directives, and I'll say taglib, and instead of URI here I'm going to specify, if I just do control space, we can see that I've got an option to specify a tag dir like this, and I'm going to specify, I think I need the slash, but I'm not completely sure if I'm honest. So let's try this, web-inf slash image. Oh, actually, yeah, that's good. In fact, what I could do to make this a bit neater is I could just right click my WebInf, create a new folder called tags, and rather than clutter up WebInf directly, let's just drag my tag file into there, because that would kind of make more sense. And I'll just then specify for the directory WebInf slash tags, and that's where I'm going to put all my tag files. And now I also need to specify a prefix, and you can just specify whatever prefix you want actually. So let's say that I want my tags to have the prefix, I don't know, well this site's called Picture Squirrel, so I could use PS for example. So let's use PS, and I'll save that. And now I can use the tag like this. So it's going to be open a angle bracket and the prefix, of course, and then you can see here it's already given me the option to autocomplete PS : image image being the name of the tag file that I just created. So let's use that, and I'll just leave it like that for the moment. And in fact I could use the self-contained version like this, because I don't need an opening and closing tag. I'm not going to put anything in the middle there. So let's just run this and see if this works. So I need to go to image.jsp, but I'm going to run my website here, run on server, and I'm going to, when it starts up, I'm going to click through to an image, and and here I've got hello there from a custom tag. Now let's go ahead and add some attributes to this custom tag. So I'll get rid of that, and in here, so as attributes I want it to take the width of the image and the image name and extension. So I'm going to use an attribute directive. So again, it's going to be %@, and it's going to be attribute. And now if I press Control Space, I can see some things that I can potentially put in there. I always need the name, and let's, for an example, I'll have a name set to width, so that's the name of my attribute. And I'm going to say that the width is not required, and the type I'm going to set to java.lang.integer, because I want this to be an integer attribute. And I think that's probably all I need. I could set the description here. I could say the width of the image in pixels, of course, and then well, I could already output this here just to see what it looks like. So I'll have a $sign and open some EL brackets, and I can just use width in there directly, and that's just the name from here. So let's go back to my image.jsp, and here I can say now width equals 80, and let's check that that works. So I'll run my website, and I always like to check these things as I'm going along bit by bit, because it's better to spot problems earlier on rather than later, I think. So if I click on that, now I've got width of 80 gathered from the attribute value that I specified. Now I could, because in image.tag I've said that this is not required, so I could here have a c:if and say test equals and some EL in there, and I could say that if this is empty, so I'm going to say if empty width, like this, and we haven't seen empty yet, but that allows you to specify if there's to check if there's a value for that or not. Then I could say c:set and c:set and var equals width, the name of my variable, and value equals, and let's say it's going to be 200 by default, like this. So I think that should work. Let's just see what problem this has here. I have to also import my taglib. In fact, let's use this up here. So I need to import the core taglibs with the C prefix here. Save that, so that should be okay. And on my image now, supposing I get rid of width, let's check that it is set to 200. And if this works, I'm going to go ahead and code the rest. But it's nice to check, and I always somehow feel like it's a minor miracle when this sort of thing does work. I don't know why. So let's run. There we go. So we've got 200. So that seems fine. And so I want a couple more attributes here. Let's see. So I'm going to copy this, and let's just maximize the editor. And I want to have an attribute called name, or maybe we should call it stem, and I want one called extension, and I'll say that these are required, so you have to specify them when you use the tag. And the type of these is going to be Java lang string, and this is going to be the file name of the image, excluding extension, and this is going to be the file extension of the image. And now I also, it's very important, I need to be able to say that these attributes, stem and extension, can be specified from an EL expression, because when I actually specify these, I want to do this kind of thing here, And if I don't say that EL expressions are allowed for the attributes, then this won't work. So that's going to be important. So let's say here, do control space, and I need to specify this RT_EXPRA value, and I need to set it to true like that. Otherwise, it would not allow me to use extensions when I specify the attributes. So there we go. And finally, now I can copy in this code that I've got here. So let's just copy this and paste it in here, and do Control-Shift-F to format it. Actually, that looks worse than it did to start with, but never mind. And let's go down to where I'm actually using the image here. So I've got an image. Let's take a look. I know it's here somewhere. I can't see it for looking. I think it's further down. So let's take a look. There we go. So I'm going to use this as well. And I'm going to paste this in here. And there we go. And now for this image, so the source is going to be, well, this looks fine, except that to create the image name, I'm going to use the stem attribute, which is here, and I'm going to use the extension attribute, which is here. And then when I output the image, I'm going to use the width. So I'll say width equals, and use EL here, and I'm going to say width equals width, because I have this width attribute here. And I think that looks okay as far as I can see. I don't want this TD tag in there. I think that's alright, so let's go ahead and run it. I've got a feeling I'm missing something, but I couldn't say what, so probably I'm not. And at the moment I've got the image, I've got the tag being used up here. So let's say that the width equals let's say 200 for this image page, because I want the large version, and my images are actually 200 pixels wide. And if I actually wanted to have an optional attribute in my image, I suppose I'd need to have this cdiff actually right here, which would be cumbersome, but I'm not sure what other way I could do it offhand. And then let's say here stem equals, and the stem is going to be image.stem. So let's actually copy this, and I'm going to have to put this further down as well, because I need to use it after I've got this information. And then I need the image extension here. So let's say if I do space and control space, it auto completes extension for me, and I can paste this in. Now if I've got everything right, this will work. And let's go down to where I actually use the actual image here, which is here. And I'm just going to paste this in, and let's get rid of this and see if it works. So there we go, and that all looks okay. And I should be able to get rid of also the bit that actually creates the image name. So if I search down here, image, I have this JSTL here that actually creates the variable for the actual file name of the image, and I don't need that anymore because that's now in my tag file. And let's finally see if this works. Run on server, and so I'm going to click on an image here, and hey presto, it works. Let's just refresh it. I don't quite believe it, but it does work. There we go. So that's a basic introduction to creating your own tags. Of course, I could use that tag on other places as well, like my home page in that case, and that's kind of the point of tags, that they're very reusable. Now, a couple of things that you can also do with custom tags that I haven't covered here are, one thing is you can make them a Java class, and that gives you even more flexibility, of course. And you can do stuff like specify what happens when you have the end tag and the start tag, and you can do stuff with the body and create iteration tags and all this kind of thing. And if you want to distribute your tags and reuse them in different projects, you also need to create a TLD file. That stands for tag library descriptor. So if you search for tag library descriptor in Google, you'll find some examples of how to do that. And I have to kind of draw a line under this tutorial series somewhere, but if you'd like me to create more tutorials on that, and you feel that's a mission and you'd like to see how to do it, then certainly drop me a line at john@caveofprogramming.com, or just leave a question in the Udemy forum. And if I have time, I'll certainly try to add some more tutorials to this series. Okay, so that's it for this time, and until next time, happy coding.